Welcome to Tai Chi Chuan Complete Part 2. This is Part 2 of a 5-part series introducing you to the Tai Chi Chuan solo form. The last motion we left off with was play the flute. Today we're going to go from play the flute into lean step. Now I want you to remember that we're always going to be doing this from camera referencing the position of you standing in the classroom. And then we'll break it from different angles so you can see the details. Lean step. Let me do that for you from the open position. Let me break it down into a little bit of its details. From play the flute, we begin to transfer the weight to the front leg as our hands descend, executing a blocking motion. Here I have shoulder, hip, heel in a straight line, allowing me to pick up my right foot. I step diagonally into the corner, and my right hand comes in for a groin slap to a person's groin approximately your own height. It is supported by this imaginary line of the rear left palm. It's a simple motion. Transfer the weight, descending block, diagonal step, backhand slap to the groin. The critical mistake made by most students here is to lean into this because it has the name lean step. But you must understand that the spine must remain vertical or perpendicular to the ground. At no point is there an actual lean. Let me do that one time coming directly at camera to help you with the angle of the hands. And one more time, again from classroom reference. Play the flute to lean step. We'll see you in the next lesson. For our next motion, we're going to be going into white crane cools wings. And as usual, we're going to shoot that from classroom reference, and then we'll break it down into its details for you. From the lean step. White crane cools wings. Let's show you a version of that first from the inside position. Now, before I explain some of the minor details, let me have you first understand that we're executing what's known in martial arts as a universal block. If I stand facing camera in the toe empty position, what you see in this motion is these two overlapping clockwise circles, which is known as the universal block. And as we execute white crane cools wings, you see the manifestation of that universal block in its motion. Let's do the details. From the lean step, we first do a drawing downward block as we raise up on the heel of the front foot. We transfer our weight, shoulder, hip, heel. Once establishing the balance point, the left arm, shoulder working with hip, elbow with knee, and wrist with ankle, is going to bring over the foot. As we set the toe, we go into white crane cools wings. These overlapping circles. One more time from classroom reference. Lean step to white crane cools wings. Practice, and we'll see you in the next lesson. After white crane cools wings, we go into a motion called flourishing wings, and then to brush knee left and strike over heart. We're going to put the two of those together so you can see the continuity or flow of motion. And as usual, first from classroom reference. And from open position. In this motion, we're going to explain the details from the open position. We're standing in white crane cools wings. We begin a rotation to our right, a descending right hand, an ascending left hand, as we have this torquing rotational block by the face. The rear hand makes a motion as though to strike somebody in the groin standing behind you. It raises to a wrist strike under the wrist, followed by a rotation of an eye flick. We then turn our attention back to the original position. Lifting the leg, we make our step. The left palm will brush or pass over the knee, palm down, as the rotational push is a heel palm strike over the heart. Somebody your own height striking center chest in the heart of a person your same size. That's what we use for reference. One more time in continuity. From white crane cools wings. Flourishing wings. To brush knee left and strike over heart. And we'll finish that from classroom reference. Put your good quality time into practice, and we'll see you in the next lesson. From brush knee left and strike over heart, we're going to execute two minor movements. Penetrate heart, and then a pull back with a wrist deflection to our right temple. This is going to lead us into this section's major movement of golden needle at the bottom of the C. Let me demonstrate that for you from classroom reference, and then we'll do the detail breakdown. We've finished, if you'll recall, from brush knee left and strike over heart. To golden needle at the bottom of the C. Let's do that from the open position. A little bit of detail we need to pay attention to. In the first part, we're going to do the penetration of the heart. We do not want to go up, we do not want to descend. But from strike over heart, our body moves straight in, neither up nor down. We have the removal of the foot and the replacement of the foot. We begin pointing our fingers in the direction we are facing and do a wrist deflective block to our right temple. As these fingers pull to the block, they pick up the toes of the left foot. As the toes set to the toe empty position, they will pull the fingers down to the bottom of the C. We get down so that our back is parallel to the ground. As we rise, notice the finger change, and the wrist begins the ascent. As the wrist begins the ascent, its fingers will bring the spiraling motion of the needle or the left arm as they rise above the head. This motion is actually going to be used for the elbow to pick up the knee for the next motion. We'll pick that up on the next lesson. For right now, one more time in continuity. We have struck the heart, we penetrate, we pull back, we deflect, we pick up our toes pull our fingers. We go to needle at the bottom of the C. The wrist leads. The fingertips pick up the fingertips, and the knee will be picked up by the elbow. Golden needle at the bottom of the C, one more time from class reference. Once again, I can only emphasize practice, practice, practice. We'll see you in the next lesson. Our next motion is Fair Lady opens the shutters. It's a brief motion, but we're going to take it from reference of classroom reference and from golden needle at the bottom of the C where we ended that motion. Fair Lady opens the shutters. As I said, it's a simple motion. Let's look at it from the open position. Golden needle has been picked up. We have the placement of the foot, the rotation of the hands into opening the shutters. Key points. As I place my foot, you will see the synchronicity of both hands rotating to a palm open position. You'll see the right arm withdrawing to a guarded head position, the left arm rotating to a striking position as my knee covers my big toe, spine perpendicular to the ground. We've picked up the needle. We step. We open and pull push. If I turn my head directly to the right, I'd be seeing that I'm in the center of my forearm. And the palm would have struck slightly under the armpit of the left side. One more time in continuity. From golden needle is at the bottom of the C. We have the picking up motion, the step, and the separating or opening of the shutters. One more time from classroom reference. Needle at the bottom of the C. Picking up the needle. The step, opening of the shutters. As I constantly remind you, practice, practice, and practice some more. We'll see you in the next lesson. Our next motion is fist to abdomen. It'll be difficult for you to see from classroom reference, but of course we'll turn it 180 degrees so you get a clear picture of the hand motions. And from open position. Fist to abdomen. From Fair Lady opens the shutters, we're going to shift our weight to the right leg. Our left fingers are going to bring our left toes to the 45 angle. And as we do such, the hands will cut. Notice that I have my shoulder, hip, and heel in a straight line. I'm not leaning into this. As I cut, I'll shift the weight back to the left leg and the palms will rotate inward. Right fist to abdomen in front of the belly button, left palm blocking above the head, slightly to a 45. One more time for continuity. And one more time from camera reference position. Look carefully for all of the details, and we'll see you in the next lesson. From fist to abdomen, we do a small motion known as fan through the back, which leads us into a larger motion known as phoenix eye to solar plex. There's a half step in that motion. Watch carefully. Once again, first from classroom reference. And from open position. Let's break down what's happening. We'll do the details from the open position. First, I have a rotation to my left, as my left hand fans or pushes backward and downward. As I break the horizontal, I do a formation of the phoenix knuckle, which you'll see in picture shortly. As I do my rotation and turn my attention back 180 degrees, I take my step. As I plant my foot, my back fist will strike a person at the bridge of the nose, my own height. And then here we have the yin-yang interplay. As my fist pulls to my right hip, it will bring both my left leg and the phoenix eye knuckle into the solar plex position. By that I mean this knuckle is penetrating the soft spot at the bottom of the sternum of a person your own height. The half step, my front toes pointing straight, my rear foot at that 45 Tai Chi angle. One more time in continuity. And again from camera or classroom reference. Fan through the back to phoenix knuckle to solar plexus. Practice, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Our next motion is crane flaps wings into white snake sticks out tongue right. Let's do that once again from camera reference, and then we'll go into the details. And from what would be the open position, just so you have that reference to work from. I think we can do this from classroom reference to give you enough of the details. We've come into the phoenix eye knuckle. The first motion that we're doing is descending and dropping the back of our hands downward. As soon as our knees get to covering our big toes, we begin the upward motion. As our hands approximate the shoulders, they fold in. our legs should be almost perfectly straight. As they meet in the middle to press down, we begin descending our weight, but our weight descends onto the left leg. As the weight sets on the left leg, we can pick up the right. Taking our step, we block, press down, and as the right hand comes, palm up and passes over the wrist, it will rotate, palm down, and penetrate a strike target, which is the larynx of a person our own height. It should reach its target at the same time that the knee covers the big toe. Let's do that in continuity so that we can see the timing. White snake sticks out tongue right. We'll see you in your next lesson. We just finished white snake sticks out tongue right, and now we're prepared to do its sister motion, white snake sticks out tongue left. Let's do that once again from classroom reference. The mirror image. I think it's better if we show you the details of that, however, from the open position. Details. From white crane sticks out tongue right, the first motion is going to be to deflect to our left as we rotate, completely opening the pelvis, and press downward. We then begin the returning rotation. As the palm passes the wrist, we once again have that palm up position. But as it completes its pass, it rotates inward. And once again, the target is the larynx of a person our own height. As the knee covers the big toe, we have the execution of the motion. One more time. From white snake sticks out tongue right. And again from classroom reference. Link those two together for continuity. It's a fun motion, and we'll see you in the next lesson. We're almost finished at this point. We have one more lesson, and this is it for the completion of your 28 movements and getting you through the completion of the second section. That motion is going to be parry, back fist, and chop, and let's do that from reference at white snake sticks out tongue from classroom reference. And from open reference. I think an example of this motion coming straight at camera will aid you to see the torquing motion right there at the end of the chop. Notice here in detail, my fingers go towards the sky and I move my rotation to the right to get that initial parry. Then I have a pressing motion as I pull back and shift the weight to the rear. You never lock this knee out. It's as straight as it can be while maintaining a slight bend. As I project back forward with the power strike, as I shift the weight to shoulder, hip, heel coming to that front leg, the back fist hits a person in the bridge of the nose, our own height. This next part is tricky. I have to bring up the left leg and immediately put all of my weight on it. I can then take the step, and I have the pulling, pushing motion of the strike, which chops into the center chest, but notice that there's a rotational torque into that strike. My shoulders twist. It's a critical element in this movement. Let's do it once again from classroom reference. We're in white snake, sticks out tongue left. We have the rotation to the right with the block, the press, and the withdrawal. The transfer of the weight accompanying back fist. The step, transfer of weight, forward step, and the push-pull into the torquing motion. One more time from open position. If you can get this section under your belt, you're 2/3 of the way of finishing our motions, or I should say 2/5 of the way of finishing our motion. There are 3 more segments to come. Work well, prepare yourself for the 3rd section, and we'll see you in the continuing educational series. Good luck and have fun.